Theresa Goell, educated in archaeology and architecture, was working at a dig in eastern Turkey in 1946. Having read Pushstein and Humann's book, she decided to take a short trip to Mount Nemrud in 1947. A good student of classical history and art, Goell was convinced that the mountain held answers to one of the most puzzling mysteries of history. What had happened to the Hittites when they suddenly disappeared from the annals of history in the 8th century BC? Despite warnings by the locals on the dangers of a woman climbing to Mount Nemrud alone, she would not be deterred. In July of 1947, Theresa Goell was on top of Mount Nemrud.
When I first saw Mount Nemrud and the sanctuary of Antiochus on it, I was overwhelmed with its sight and grandeur. I decided this would be a life's work.
And life's work it became. In 1953, at the age of 52, with funding from the American School of Oriental Research and her hearing rapidly deteriorating, Theresa Goell became the first female archaeologist to lead a dig in eastern Turkey.
Theresa Goell was about in her mid-50s in those days, a very unique, outspoken, friendly character, much loved by the local population, which I immediately realized they all adored her. She was just one of those wonderful exploring women like Friar Stark and Lady Esther Stanhope, the first non-local woman, so to say, to come up to Mount Nemrud. This will always be connected with her personality, with her many-sided personality.
Theresa Goell's collaborator was Friedrich Karl Dörner, a renowned German epigrapher and archaeologist. 2 years prior to their partnership, he had discovered the royal tomb sanctuary of Antiochus's father, Mithridates Callinicus, at Arsamea on the Nymphaeus.
Professor Dörner has permission to work here, and Theresa Goell the permission for the Nemrud Dar. And they made a joint venture, and I think it was the best idea they would have had, because Theresa Goell was an architect, Professor Dörner was an epigrapher and ancient historian. So she helped him here in architectural things. Professor Dörner helped Theresa Goell at the top of the Nemrud mountain in epigraphy.
The team wasted no time in obtaining results. One of the first finds was a depiction of Antiochus's head buried under the limestone rubble in the eastern terrace. This was followed by reliefs of Antiochus being greeted by the gods on the western terrace. In the meantime, Dörner kept busy piecing together and deciphering the different Greek inscriptions. Most often, cataloging and restoration of the fragments were very laborious, made all the more difficult by the harmful effects of 2,000 years of abrasion and not so pleasant working conditions.
From daytime highs of 130 degrees Fahrenheit, the temperature on the mountain plummeted to freezing at night. Fetching a bucket of water from the closest spring required a 3-hour round trip. There was not a single tree for shade, lumber, or fuel. On the unsheltered heights, we were at the mercy of wind, rain, hail, and dust storms. Roving bears added a final touch. Theresa Goell.
Coming to think of life in the mid-50s, up here on the mountain, brings back pleasant memories as well as dramatic reminiscences. Even in midsummer, you could experience dramatic changes of weather, clouds drawing up within a very short time, and a hailstorm which we could only survive by clinging to the tent poles and hold on to everything. But nevertheless, a lot of things got blown around, and it was always kind of a disaster after the storm.
Despite the adverse conditions, Goell and Dörner proceeded tenaciously to compile as much information as they could on the mountain. They were now able to construct a very accurate plan of the site. A closer examination of both the sanctuary on Nemrud and Arsamea on the Nymphaios revealed many common aspects, such as the double platform, stepped socles, dexiosis reliefs, and the two longest Greek inscriptions in Asia Minor. The Nemrud sanctuary, with its hybrid statues of Hellenistic, Persian, and Hittite influences, was a more embellished form of the earlier Arsamea sanctuary. It was evident that the site of Antiochus was rooted in tradition and syncretism.
Clearly he's blending Persian, Iranian, Macedonian and Greek traditions in the art and in the monumental sculpture. But in addition, he's forging something new. He's clearly believes that he's forging a new Kommagenian identity.